If I had to start from zero today, here's exactly how I would make $10,000 a month as quickly as possible as a professional athlete. Now, before you ask, who am I? Why am I credible to speak on this topic? I founded a company called Athletic Freedom. We've now helped more than 350 athletes transition online to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month. But at 17, I dropped out of high school to make my dreams a reality, to play professional football. But as you probably know, chasing your dreams is not cheap. Traveling across the world is not cheap either. So I was left with minus $48 in my bank account. Where that led me was stealing food, don't tell anyone, freezing food in bulk. I was struggling, so I had to pick up a job and I ended up washing dishes. It was 12-hour days. It was coming home at 1 a.m. I was drained, I was tired, I was demotivated. I was skipping extra sessions. The entire reason I flew across the entire world, dropped everything back in Australia, and I couldn't even focus on my sporting career. It absolutely sucked. So as you probably have, I looked into everything out there online, but nothing worked for me. But before we go into the opportunity that completely changed my life, let's look at the facts. Let's compare as an athlete with your goals, your schedules, your routine, what you know, what you don't know, the best opportunity for you in 2026. Let's start at the bottom, dropshipping. I don't know how the people that tell you to do dropshipping, if you're an athlete, sleep at night. It's bullshit. It's extremely hard to do. You're running an entire business. There's so many different things that you have to focus on. Ronaldo came to me. He hit 10K a month appointment setting through my guidance. He spent 2 years dropshipping. He never made more than $2,000 revenue in 2 whole years. Within 6 months, he was making 10 grand a month with high ticket sales. Brendan, he funnily enough made $6,000 in high ticket sales. He then got shiny object syndrome, went to try dropshipping. It failed. He wasted a bunch of money on the shitty course. And then I helped him scale his income up to 10 grand a month. Dropshipping, probably don't do it. If your goal is to have more freedom so you could put more time into your sport, don't do dropshipping. You'll be sitting inside all day stressing about when you'll find a winning product. Content creation. CJ came to me, he tried content creation for 1 or 2 years, and then within 14 days of joining my program, getting into high ticket sales, he landed his first role, and 4 days later, he made $500 in a single day sending text messages on Instagram. Day trading. Wow, I mean, this is probably the one I hear the most. More than 100 athletes have come to me before they get into high ticket sales saying they tried day trading. It didn't really work. It didn't stick. It wasn't consistent, which is why it's at C tier. It's not a long-term skill that's going to get you financial freedom and build the skills that you want long-term. Crypto, probably it's up there. Probably 50 athletes have come to me that have all tried crypto. Pretty much all of them lost money. A lot of them have bought these different courses from these different gurus out there online, but none of it really worked. Affiliate marketing, most people don't even understand what it is. You probably don't either, yet you hear this buzzword out there online. It just takes so long to build a real income from it. So if you're looking, to make good money quickly, that's why it's in C tier. B, marketing agency, right? Which it's a good skill, but chances are right now you probably don't have that much experience doing something online. So the basis of a marketing agency is where you market for a company. But if you don't know how to market, you're not going to make a single dollar. And if even somehow you do sign a client, they're not going to stay with you because you don't know how to deliver results. This is pretty much what Brez Scale teaches. He just gives a fancy name on it and sells a bunch of courses to students he doesn't really care about. Amazon FBA, put this A tier because it is a real skill, it is a business, but you need a fuck ton of capital and experience to succeed. Here's a little story. Hee Chan came to me, plays at Brown University, footballer. He tried Amazon FBA, he burnt a bunch of money. He got into high ticket sales. Within 4 months, he was making more than 10 grand a month, US cash profit in his pocket. And then he went back to Amazon FBA. Now, what does that mean? On this tier list, Amazon FBA is not a good place to start to hit your first $10,000 a month. But once you've hit 10, 15, 20 grand a month, it is a long-term business that you could maybe get into, which is why I've put high ticket sales S tier, because you can be a beginner. Most of the results that I've gotten, none of them have any sales or business or make money online experience in the past, and they still succeed. Let's just compare it, right? Not from an athlete perspective, we'll do that after, but is it beginner friendly? What's the startup fee? How much time do you need? Do you have location freedom? Is it simple? Is there a 6-figure potential? Is there a 7-figure potential? What's the profit margin? And can you earn while traveling? What you'll realize is sales ticks off almost every single one of those, because you can start today as a beginner. There's no real startup to learning how to sell. Now, if you want coaching and you want to get really good to make top money, obviously there is. It doesn't take a lot of time. Location freedom, obviously you can do it anywhere as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection and a phone next to you. It's pretty damn simple, as you'll come to see if you stick around later in this video. There is six-figure potential. We've helped more than 30 guys make six figures in sales within their first 6 months. High profit margin. Everything you make is what you keep. You can obviously earn while learning. You can start tomorrow. You can get in a role while you're learning. It's not like you have to spend a year learning and then you make your first dollar. The only downside to high ticket sales as an athlete, as I mentioned, is it's probably not going to make you a millionaire. But later in the video, I mentioned the progression from high ticket sales into other opportunities as well. Now, more importantly, because if you're watching this, you're an athlete, you have a schedule, you have goals, you have a routine, things that are really important to you that might even be why you're watching this video, so you can focus more on your sport. High ticket sales allows you to fit making money online around your training, to work 2 to 4 hours a day, using the traits you have as an athlete, the hard work, the resilience, the discipline. There's no conflict with your sport. In fact, it allows you to put your sport first and then, make money alongside it. And it's specifically built for athletes. E-com, starting an agency, Amazon, day trading, crypto, affiliate marketing, content creation. Those things are not built specifically to an athlete, which is why I believe this is the best opportunity in 2026. Enough waffling. How does it work? Let me explain exactly what it is so you can see whether this is for you or whether it's not. So let's explain it. How to make $3,000 to $1,000 a day with high ticket sales. There's these business owners, right? Think Iman Gadzhi, Adam Sullivan, Mike Thurston, V-Shred, Zach Perna, Nick Priola, that market on Instagram, that market on TikTok, that market on these different platforms. They sell a $3,000 to $10,000 coaching program and service out there online. Now think of the companies that you see when you scroll Instagram that sell weight loss, fitness coaching, business coaching. They're the guys that you're going to be working for. And look at this. This is super interesting. They have 700,000 followers. They have 400,000 followers. They have, Alex Eubank, who we've placed a setup for, 3 million followers. Do you think Alex Eubank is speaking to his followers himself? No, right? I'm sure you can gather that. But why on earth is he asking his followers to DM him in his caption? Because he does not and he will not speak to them himself. So what does he do? Well, that's the problem, right? If he has 1 million followers, he will not reply to them. He has an entire business to run. He has other more high leverage things he needs to focus on. So they hire an appointment setter. This is how I made $6,200 my first month. 3 months later, I was making more than $11,000 a month at 19 years old. And it wasn't for some big company like Alex Eubank with 3 million followers. It was for a small fitness company with 19,000 followers. So yes, there are these big companies out there online, but honestly, most of the money is made in the niches and the smaller companies where you can take a bigger cut of how much they make. At this point, after making more than 11 grand a month, I have now trained and placed more than 350 athletes like yourself into high ticket sales roles. Here are some pretty cool results we've been able to get. I helped Tiago make $14K his first month. Before he came to me, he was working 2 full-time jobs in construction. He started high ticket sales, working 60 hours a week and university and football. First month, $14,000 profit in his pocket. I helped Fabio make $15K a month. El Brendan at 19 years old make $10K a month. Wataru, professional footballer for Sydney FC, maybe you know that club, $5.4K his first month while doing it on the side. We've done this enough times. I'll show you a few more results if you're still skeptical later on in this video. So bottom line is this: how can I guarantee you a high ticket sales role? How can I get you in a job? Well, it starts with the demand. I have so many coaches, as you can see here, reaching out to me for remote salespeople because they know the people we train are extremely good. So people want more of them. Word goes around. Literally every single day, my inbox looks something like this, where people are reaching out for appointment setters. Now, how does it work? You need to learn the skill. You can try it on your own, waste a few months, or you could get some training. Either way, you need to know the skill. You need to do the learning before you do the earning, like everything in the world. And then you get either hired by, doing cold outreach yourself, or you get placed in a real business you log in on their Instagram account and you message on their behalf. Remember how Alex Eubank with 2.7 million followers asked his audience to DM him? Well, when they DM him, you would be replying on his behalf. And this is how you can make $5,000 to $10,000 a month so quickly, because the business is already successful. You're not starting from scratch like every other opportunity we mentioned earlier. They already have the followers, they have the sales, they have the marketing, they have the brand. You just need to get in there and send the messages. And this is the outcome that it leads to. The business owner can focus on other tasks and they will actually make more money. And if you can make them an extra 100 grand a month, of course, they're going to pay you 10 grand a month to do it. So you get paid 10% of their business because they need your skill set. Everybody wins, purely because there is a real demand for this skill. So you will make real and consistent money. Just take a look at this graph. The yellow is the online service providers. The red is the remote salespeople in 2025. You see the yellow rapidly growing and increasing relative to the amount of remote salespeople. What does that mean? That means the demand for remote salespeople, actually good ones that have the training, that can get in the right opportunities, is high, which is how you can make a solid amount of money very quickly. So let me do the equation. Let me run the numbers for you. If you were to get placed with a company, you would speak to 100 people a day. Let's say you book in 4 of them, which is pretty low, but let's say you're just starting out. You're a medium, you're an okay setter. 1 out of 4 convert, meaning you book the calls, 1 out of 4 go into a paying customer. That's 10% of a $3,000 to $10,000 coaching program. And do the math, at 10% commission, you're making $3,000 to $1,000 a day sending messages for these online coaches. Now, that makes sense to you. You know how much you can make if you get the right training and the right placement, but how does it actually work? You might be asking, can I see some examples? Don't just say these numbers, show me what it looks like. So let me show you, okay? This is for a coach called Alvin Go, one of my guys, professional footballer. I placed him inside this company. Let me show you a bad, a medium, and a good example of appointment setting. Bad, super dry, robotic, AI could do it. Medium, a little bit more conversational, feels like a human, but there's no sales psychology there. Look at the difference between these messages. Maybe pause the video, read them. And then the good one, where we're being empathetic, we're acknowledging what they say, and we're using sales psychology. These are the things that make a really good setter, that allows a really good setter, to make $10,000 a month. So the full conversation is here. Basically what you do, you'd go onto Alex Eubank's Instagram, they would message you, you would ask them a few simple questions, they would reply, you would reply back. And after maybe 4, 5, 6 of these back and forths, you would then pitch the call, which is getting them booked on the calendar. And if they close, you make 10% commission of what the customer pays. The skill isn't that hard, right? But you need to know what you're doing so you can actually make money, because if you don't know how to book these calls, you won't make any money. That is just the truth of sales. Now, next question you might have is, why is it actually for athletes? Is that just some cool marketing that I came up with? No, and let me explain why, right? Why do athletes make the best salespeople? Well, after training, more than 500 in the history of the company, in over 500 companies, in 115 different industries, I've realized one thing, that athletes, the mindset that they have is transferable into sales, and they make the best salespeople. Look at some of these results. Armani hit 10 to 12K a month. Hichan hit 10K a month. Charlie made 5,500 in 15 days before he was working 3 part-time jobs, struggling to get by and pay rent in Sydney. Jasper hit 8K a month. Lucas Ramirez made 6K his first month. Do you know what he was doing before he came to me? He was in a cafeteria scrubbing gum off the floor for 10 US an hour. First month, he made $6,000 in his pocket from learning this one skill. And we have so many more results, as you can see here, just like it. So every trait that makes you great and talented as an athlete on the pitch makes you good at sales. It's the discipline, it's the showing up every day without excuses, because you can't give excuses, because then you'll get cut. It's the coachability, it's the hard work, the laser focus on your goals, the resilience, the handling the setbacks, handling the failures. You know what it's like to get rejected from the team that you wanted to play for, and then working hard in an entire season and then making the team the next year. You know that most people don't. It's the competitive drive to be the best on the team, to fight for your position, being a team player, knowing how to manage time. And that's important because sales is an industry where the top 10% of salespeople make 90% of the money. And the bottom 90% make 10% of the money, as you can see through this statistic and this graph here. And I want to get this off my chest. I don't believe in getting rich quickly or easily. If you want to make a lot more money and you want more freedom, it's going to take some sacrifices. It's going to be a bit hard. But if there's any opportunity in the world that can make you a lot of money very quickly, and if you get really good at it, it's high ticket sales. And again, I want to double down and just tell you that it's not always easy. Like, you want all of these things, you want a better life, you're going to have to work for it. Sales is the most lucrative industry in the world. Mark Cuban said, the number one skill in business is sales. If you can sell, you can do anything. Grant Cardone said, the ability to sell is the number one skill. If you cannot sell, do not bother. Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi, Andrew Tate. High ticket sales allows you to make really good money. And from there, the progression is starting your own business or getting into a managing position where you're managing other salespeople. And once you have that skill, you become unbelievably valuable. If you know how to sell something, you will never go broke, you will never go poor again, right? Because no matter where the world goes, there will always be a space where you make money for selling something. They will always pay you a commission for it. And the last point I want to touch on is that, yes, the skill is awesome. It will change your life and set you up. You'll remember these skills for the rest of your life, but it's not enough, right? You also need the opportunity to use them, meaning if you learn the skill, but you don't get placed inside a business as a high ticket sales rep, you will stay at the same income, same freedom, same position that you're in right now, where you don't love exactly where you are. Because if you did, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. There's probably some sort of change that you want, and just learning the skill probably isn't going to get you that. You need the skill, but you also need the placement and the opportunity to use it. So if you're an athlete, right, and you've been looking for a way to make an income online, you know you want these things: more freedom, more money, controlling your own schedule, living your life on your own terms. You have the discipline, you have the coachability, you have the hard work, you have the focus, you have the resilience, you have the competitive drive. If you have all of those things, then I need your talent. I need to place you with the companies that are coming to us looking for remote salespeople, because right now we actually have more companies than remote sales talent. So if that sounds like you want all of these things, what I want you to do is book a call below this video with either a member of me or my team, and I'll show you how I've been able to help more than 350 athletes transition online, make more money than they thought was possible, gain more freedom to live their life on their own terms, and have athletic freedom. Have a great day. Book a call. I'll see you there.